can do this. And there she is. And you know what? Even if she's a little fuzzy, and she'll come in because we are going to manifest higher vibration of her energy. And my Aunt Cecilia is here, and she vibrates to a very high level. So welcome, Locke, and welcome everybody. It is March 8th. And can you guys believe it's March 8th? Right.
It's National Women's Day. Let's talk about it.
International Women's Day. I want to know something. I kind of didn't know what that meant. Does that mean that I'm supposed to go somewhere internationally?
No, it's international and national. So it's just Women's Day. It's a day for women. You're supposed to tell all the women in your life that you admire, how much you admire them. So ladies, I admire you. And I admire you, Aunt Cecilia.
I admire you. Okay?
Done.
I mean, really. So can I ask a question? Because I know it's on everyone's mind. Kim Mazzella, we tied up the archetype conversation last week. What is tonight's topic?
I am so excited to talk about this. So it's interesting because I am a self-help guru junkie, right? So I tend to go through, probably like most people on this channel, books and authors. So when I was young, I was really into Marianne Williamson. And when I was 19, I saw her at Town Hall for $10, by the way, back in the day. You could see her for $10. And Deepak Chopra and all these different people used to come to the Manhattan Center for Living. And about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, when did he start coming out? I read something by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I remember thinking, I like Greg Braden better, right? Because I was really into Greg Braden. I was in my Greg Braden moment. And I got into Dr. Bruce Lipton, who we should talk about sometime too. But, you know, I had kind of followed along with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I don't know why I missed him. Because recently, now if you know, I also read A Course in Miracles every day. So I'm very involved in growth kind of stuff. Somewhere along the line in the last year, I started reading his stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? You know, even though I'd read it before, but you know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And what he does.
Look, there he is. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Joe
Dispenza.
Just
a regular guy.
There he is, Joe Dispenza. There he is. Hey, Joe, look, he's wearing a black too. He's in.
Look at that.
What he teaches is the science really behind manifesting. And so people who, and so does Greg Braden, and so does Bruce Lipton, but he gives a lot of tools, and I am all about the tools. The only thing is, and I think this is why I might not have been so into him, is he's like, oh no, you're not going to get what you want out of life by meditating for 10 minutes. You need to meditate for an hour, 2 hours a day. Now, listen, if you hear that and that's immediately making you go, oh no, you have to do what's right for you, right? You have to embrace what's right for you. And if you can get to the place that he's telling you you need to get to in 1 minute, then you don't need to meditate for an hour a day, right? Yeah. The goal is to get to the place where you're creating. So today I thought it would be really cool if I talk about the generous present moment, because that's basically the crux of what you need to know if you're studying this book. And the book that we're, what the heck is the name of it? Supernatural. He's written other books, but this book is the one that's really speaking to me right now and has a ton of tools. So we're going to start with kind of like the early on tools.
I love that the forward is by Greg Braden, by the way.
I know. How great is
Isn't that funny? I think that's what made me read it again, because I'm like, I got to find a new, you know, it's almost like I date these authors and then I break up with them.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like a muse almost, right? I mean, don't you feel that way? I feel that way. Like, well, I'll listen to a certain speaker and then I'll get really into it. And then you go, okay, I've learned a lot. Let me check something else out. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah. That's absolutely. So now I'm dating Dr. Joe Dispenza. Don't tell my boyfriend.
Listen, can I just say really quick that I would see why you wouldn't want to date him, because this is one of his quotes. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Dr. Joe Dispenza, a memory without an emotional charge is called wisdom. Like, I'm like, oh, really? I would challenge him at a dinner party. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. And one of the things I would say is this. when you're reading anyone, one of the things that I feel that really happens in this world, and I see it happening with people with the news, and I see it happening with people with teachers, is do not create a guru, right? Do not create someone that becomes your God. Like if you go to a psychic, they know stuff, but there was a time in my 20s where I would go to a psychic, and if they were wrong, it was like my world would crumble. When I was a mess, remember back before I knew all this stuff I would teach. You have all the answers inside of you. Your inner guide is better than anything, any place that you could go. So all of these things that I teach are ways for you to get in touch with your inner guide. So your inner guidance is what your inner guide is. So if you're reading something and it doesn't resonate with you, or you look at him and you're like, nah, maybe that's what I did. Maybe I just judged a book by its cover. But if you're reading something and it doesn't resonate with you, just because someone's written it and just because it's in a book and maybe they did a study, doesn't mean it's the end all be all of the universe. You know, just like in your own life, the story's not written. In all things, we learn more and more as research comes out, but his research is pretty stellar. So, the first thing that he talks about, do you have any questions before I go on?
No, go for it. I don't have any.
We're all talking about is if we think about our life and how we do our life, we've gotten very much into habits. We wake up in the morning, we have a cup of coffee. When we, we go to a job, we may have been going the same job for years, or our little habits become what he would call our emotional, like, stasis. You know what homeostasis is? It's kind of like where your natural body rests. So in a way, we become very used to the emotions that we have. And so because the emotions that we have are actually part of our electromagnetic field, right? So we have this electromagnetic field that is built from our past and everything that we've done over and over in time, right? So what he teaches is that each thought that we have has an electric charge, right? Each thought that we have creates a biochemical reaction in our body. Okay, am I losing you yet? So like it goes to our body and it has a bio, which is physical body, a chemical reaction, and it creates a feeling. That feeling has a magnetic charge.
Yes.
Okay, so if you think about it, your thought creates a feeling, thought electric, creates a feeling magnetic, and that magnetic charge is going to create another thought, and they call it the thought feeling loop, right?
Okay.
So
thought feeling loop.
Mm-hmm,
yes.
The thought feeling loop. When you have the same thought over and over again, it becomes basically the homeostasis of your energy charge. And we all walk around with these electromagnetic charges, right? And after time, it's basically the same. So the problem is, if you want anything new, you basically have to leave this charge behind. And it's really, really hard to do.
Yes, it is.
Right? So it's really hard to do. So the first thing that he teaches is that where we claim our power, and it's kind of like, you've already heard this before in different ways, is in what he calls the generous present moment, the quantum field, right? You've heard of quantum field. So what is the quantum field? The quantum field is a place that you go, and Tracy, you know, Dr. Joe. So am I explaining it? I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. So the quantum field is a place that you go where you leave you behind. So you leave everything you know behind. You leave everything that you know about your life, your whole past, your whole body, your whole experience. And it's the only place that you can go to change, really, to really make lasting change. And he calls it it's called the unified field. So it's almost like a place of nothing, right? And so he says, you got to become no body, no one, nowhere, in no time, right? And no thing. So the way you do this, you with me, Donna?
I'm gonna say, are we doing this sober, or is this like peyote? How do we do this?
This is like the man of many faces. Did you guys watch Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones? Oh yeah, man of many faces.
Yeah, remember he was like, "You are no one. You are no one. You are no one. You are nothing."
Look, your thoughts are incredibly powerful. Choose yours wisely, because I don't want to become a face with no name. The horse with no name would be funny though.
There's a song
forgot
about that, Donna.
from Game of Thrones. Okay, so when we go to this place, we all need to go there in order to make lasting change. Or what's going to happen is our energy field is just going to suck us back to where we were, right?
Which totally makes sense.
So that's why change is so hard. That's why we kind of, and it's so uncomfortable because basically you have to change your electromagnetic field. So the way to make a change is to go to this quantum field where all possibilities exist. And that is where you have to become nothing, no one. And really, it's just, if you think about it, just becoming consciousness. And he said, you're there when it's actually, I've done it a lot. And so it's kind of like entering a blackness. I always think about being in there was something I learned back years ago called Theta Healing. Has anybody heard of this, Theta Healing?
No.
Theta Healing, which is very similar to his work. So Theta Healing is all
Donna knows potato healing, but we're talking about Theta Healing.
You stop that.
Go ahead.
It's the same basic concept. Theta Healing is getting to theta brainwaves, which are so slow that you kind of leave yourself behind. It's that point between sleep and wakeness.
Okay.
Where you're like drifting away. You're not really that body anymore. So that I think of as the quantum, right? Like, but we can't really get like that. So our regular brain waves are beta brain waves. And if I'm boring you, if I'm getting
it's fascinating.
No, but I will ask or tell at least anyone that's watching, please feel free to write some comments, questions. If you are needing to know something, please put it in the comments. I'll let her know.
Because remember, the name of our show is Practical Magic. We want to put this in a practical form that you can understand. So no question is a dumb question.
Don't leave us. Don't tune out. Don't change the channel. Just ask questions.
Yeah. So in beta brain waves, that's where your like energy is normal. You're not going to make changes from beta, right? When you go to alpha, your energy brain, and there's 3 stages of beta, which I don't know. I'm not a scientist. So why, I just happen to learn that. So when you go to beta brain waves, your brain starts to slow down. No, I mean alpha brain waves.
Alpha.
So beta is normal, like we're walking around. Alpha, when we start to relax, like daydreaming, you're an alpha. Or when you're just kind of chilling, you're an alpha. And that's a good place to be. That's a nice place where you can start to go into this quantum field. But really, you want to kind of get into that theta, almost asleep feeling. And so why he says that you need to meditate for an hour is because it's really hard to get to that space. Because in that space, you're no longer thinking about paying your bills or, what they said to you or what happened in the past. And you kind of leave your space. The other thing is if you ever listen to a Joe Dispenza video meditation, he will always say, like, rest your attention to the space between your eyes in space, which is really, really weird, but it has something to do with brain wave coherence. This is way beyond my pay scale. I don't really understand it.
But it's cool.
I'm looking it up right now while you guys are talking.
Right. So basically the idea is to to think about the space within and the space without, and that somehow makes your brain waves coherent.
I got a great picture for us. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. So the idea is to picture the space within and then compare it to the space without and imagine it in space. Try it.
You'll be so confused that your brain will go, and just stop. I think that's the theory. That makes sense.
Well, it's funny because every once in a while, Rob would look at me and go, in space, because he hears me do the videos at night. And he says, he does the meditations like at a specific rate because it's supposed to affect your brain waves somehow. I mean, you should rent the video, but it's very interesting.
What video is it?
I could play it from my phone. I have one of them if you want to hear.
Did you just say rent the video, Kim Mazzella? Did you just say rent the
like
video?
a billion. My billion years just came out.
Hey, Donnie, you want to go to Blockbuster? We can rent that video.
I'd love to. I just can't find my membership card.
I think it's in my library book.
I'm 1 billion.
You know what's
years
really
old.
funny though, really quick? What's really funny about that is that someone I knew, which I'm not going to say where, stole my membership card and went and like rang up like a huge amount of money for Blockbuster. And I
Poor
had
Peter.
to go and have them look on their internal cameras and be like, I know who that is. And like that was a thing. That actually happened to me.
Did that really happen to you?
They ran up your
I was
Blockbuster.
getting these major like threats from Blockbuster. I'm like, what? I did not rent Fetch or whatever that movie was. Fletch. So
That's a guy movie. That's a total guy movie.
I was like, really? This is what you chose to take from my apartment when we broke up? Like, am I?
Blockbuster
Okay.
card.
You want to hear what it sounds like?
Yes, let's hear it.
Hold on. Hold on.
My brain dead. I can't hear it.
I got him. He moves very slowly. Let me.
In space. And can you sense
Oh my God, that would drive me bananas.
the volume of space that the inside of your nose occupies in space?
Okay, so you hear what I mean?
I'm so glad we're still adults.
You have got to be kidding me. You listen to that. That's amazing.
I was just going to say this. Beta is awake, normal, alert. Alpha is physically and mentally relaxed, awake but drowsy. Delta, deep sleep, loss of bodily awareness. No wonder there's so many freaking Delta gamma guy. Theta, reduced consciousness, deep meditation, dreams, light sleep, REM sleep. Gamma, heightened perception. My gamma is who I used to go to for advice because she had heightened perception.
Oh,
That was good.
that was a good one.
So, needless to say, but I have to tell you, if you want to fall asleep, lost in space.
That'll put you to
actually
sleep.
love that we're laughing about this a little bit right now and not so serious. I feel like I like this part of the show.
No, it's great because you know what? Here's the deal, Kim. I have listened to Joe Dispenza, and he's overwhelming a little bit when you first start listening to it because it obviously it's all science backed. So there's super factual scientific information, and it can get a little like whoa, but it's fascinating what people are able to do. So just keep going. But so you listen to that right before you fall asleep. Or you fall asleep.
I try to listen to it. Well, what I've been doing is I have a different meditation. I have the tuning into the potentials meditation. That's your placebo, and I also have the blessing of the energy centers meditation.
Okay.
So,
are they all at that pace?
Yes.
I would put that in my iMovie and speed up the rate. And I will just also tell you that I've seen Joe Dispenza, and isn't Joe Dispenza the one that was in that horrific car accident and healed himself?
I don't know. I really don't.
think so.
While you guys are chatting, I'm going to look that up.
But I need you to understand that people have healed themselves in his program.
Definitely.
I mean, like this stuff works. It doesn't matter if you know what it is. I'm telling you that I have noticed a difference since I've been doing this meditation, and I've been meditating for 30 years. I mean,
wow. Okay.
I have noticed a difference. I feel so much calmer and more peace since I've been doing it. And I've been doing it, I would say about a month now.
Okay. So wait, tell us exactly what you're doing. So if somebody wants to try it, you're just listening to his tape.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So once you understand that there's this quantum field that you need to get to somehow,
Right.
where you're like in space, but you're not you're just like at that theta place of dream calming, not present, just floating. That is where you want to bring these things into the quantum field prior to your meditation. And what it is called is you want to have a clear intention with a clear emotion, because if you understand that your thought is your intention, you're going to bring your electric charge into the quantum field, and then you're going to bring the way you feel in the quantum field, and you're going to view it from the quantum field. So that means you view it without attachment. You view it like he described it, like when you relax, you look at your arm and you see it, you know it's there. You're not stressed out about it. You're not thinking about like if it's going to do anything. You just like enjoy your arm being there, right? So the more you can bring yourself into the hello, it is amazing. And I'm going to tell you, I've noticed stuff in my life in a short amount of time, especially because my son is coming to this. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay.
I put the link into the chat to just let you know. I was going to wait till you were done, except for that part. Yeah, there's a video on it, and that is how I found him. Go ahead.
So what happened with me is my son has been kind of rough with me of late, and he's turning 18, and all of a sudden he's decided that he's in charge of his life. Like the stimulus he's going to get, and he told me that he gets it. And I said, oh, really?
Well, we've got a mom that said you could tell your arm whatever you want to do. So basically what happened is he decided to take over his whole body.
Well, I said to him, you're welcome to go. There's the door. You're welcome to. So anyway, I wanted to feel more powerful when I was speaking with him, because I don't want to fight, right? So like, right. and 18-year-olds will bring you down to that fight. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I can allow an 18-year-old to really easily bring me down. So I wanted to be more powerful in my connection with him. I wanted to. So that was really what I practiced in this. I didn't want to start big, because with anything that I've ever done, I start kind of small, see how it goes. And then if it makes sense. So I didn't want to start with like creating like a new life. I just started with my son. So this is what you do. So I'm going to get a blank piece of paper, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So you're going to think about what you want, right? So let's say I want a great relationship with my son. I would assign that the letter S, okay? Letter S. So then on one side, I'm going to think about what my intentions are, okay? So, and on the other side, I'm going to think about all the emotions I want to experience, right? So intentions on one side, emotions on the other.
Okay.
So let me give you some examples. My intentions with my son are to remain firm and loving. Set really clear boundaries, because lately he's been using bad language with me, and I'm your mother, and it just doesn't fly. I know you can do that in other people's houses that parent you, but not mine. So set clear boundaries. Have fun, because we were starting to not have fun together anymore. It became like a power struggle, and I want to have fun with my kid. Like, he's going to college in a couple months. Like, I wanted this last year to be. So have fun might be an intention. So just keep writing your intentions. So if you want to just kind of write your intentions, I don't think we're going to do the in space meditation, but we could certainly try it, right? So now you get that one side, you have your intentions done. And then on the other side, the emotions. Here's the important thing. If you don't bring your emotions with your intentions to the quantum, you're not going to get what you want, because the emotions are the magnetic piece, not the intentions. The intentions, the thoughts are the electrical charge, but your electrical charge needs in it the magnetic piece to draw it to you. So the emotions that I want are peace with my son. I want to feel in charge, right? But there, kindness. I could write a lot. Fun, the emotion. Once you have that, then you want to put a little line around that letter S. And so this letter is the letter that you're going to bring with you into the quantum field. You're not going to bring necessarily the idea of the intentions. You're going to bring the emotions. So the letter S describes all the things that you want. So S for son. So if you're looking for a job, you might put the letter J. If you want to get married, the letter M. If you want a child, letter C. Or whatever works for you. You don't have to use my letter system. Right?
You can make up your own.
The alphabet, Kim? I don't know. That's pretty risky.
That's pretty over the top. I don't know where you got that from.
The alphabet. Feel free. Make up your own letter.
Right.
use other alphabets.
Gleep,
Use the Greek alphabet. Perfect.
That means I love you.
Right. So then the goal is to bring this into the quantum. Now, here's the thing, and this is what he says. Even if you don't bring your intention into the quantum, if you just spend some time each day going into that unified field of just letting go of who you were or who you are for a little bit of time every day, that opens you up to possibilities. That makes it so that you could be, you're letting go of who you were. Because the thing is, it's kind of like, the saying, if you want something different, if you want what if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to get what you got.
Yeah.
It's really like you have to become a different person. So what he says is, once you get into the quantum with this thing, you want to just spend some time being nowhere, nothing, no one, and then allow yourself just to kind of see it. And then when you see it, you don't want to see it. If you are in that field and you're thinking about something that then you're no longer there. It's about thinking about the unknown, going to that place where you are actually have access to the unknown. Because if you keep living the life that you're living and keep feeling the way that you're feeling and thinking the thoughts that you're feeling, you're actually creating what he calls the known present or the future, because you're basically dragging the future within.
Right.
Like, you wake up and you have an idea about what your day is going to be like. You've already said it. So, what were you going to say, Donna?
Well, at a practical level, for those that are maybe not understanding, in all honesty, it could be heavy for some people. So
Right.
like the visual that I'm getting as you're speaking about this, all jokes aside, is a walk-in closet. So if you really don't like the way that you look and you just keep wearing the same exact outfits, you're going to look the same exact way.
Right.
Now, you might not be able to go out and picture changing your entire wardrobe in one shopping trip, but you could piece by piece take some stuff out, get rid of it, and slowly but surely change it and be open to something new. Now, you're not going to hit the nail on the head every time, but it just seems what you're expressing is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that this is, going by the title of the book and everything, this is his breakdown of how to manifest, but he's using a way different, he's not like just labeling it under manifesting, because everything that you're saying to me, I'm hearing it through the ears of, we're going to manifest a new life and we're going to take it piece by piece. So instead of just saying, I want a new career, you're micro manifesting, if you will, and now you're talking about a relationship with your son.
Well, I mean, well, I could eventually manifest a career, but when I started it, I said, let me just test this thing with my son, right?
That's not what I mean. I didn't mean to confuse it.
But I think, Donna, to your point with the closet, I think that's a great analogy, because it's kind of like Marie Kondo, if you're familiar with her theory.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of things to make space for new things.
Correct.
Like, to Kim's point, you can't keep thinking the same old thoughts and expect your life to be different. So I think both of what you're saying makes sense to me, is that you have to break it down a little bit piece by piece, because if you just say this is my theory, if you just say, I want a new life, it's so overwhelming. Like, what are we even talking about? Right.
Right.
But if you say, I'm going to take this red sweater and give it away, so now I have room for a new sweater instead of that red sweater that you've seen me in 100 times. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's funny because Sanaya Roman, thank you. Sanaya Roman, who I listened to years ago, she used to talk about, I learned magnetizing from her. I have no idea when, maybe in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s. And she talked about manifesting the essence of what you want and what it would make you feel like. And bringing in the essence into your energy field. And he talks about that too, in terms of the emotions, like, what is it that you want to feel? And even the Hicks say, really, anything that you want because you think it's going to make you feel a certain way. So I think what the most important takeaway from this is that You got to get clear on what you want, which every single manifesting person says. You've got to get clear on what you want to feel, and you've got to practice that feeling in a place that you've never been before, right? So if you go to that place where you've never been before, you're actually opening up the door to a new closet. It's not even about taking out the old stuff. It's actually about entering a closet you've never been in before and having nothing in it. That might even be it. And just going into an empty closet and just imagining the possibilities, and anything that you could want in that closet could be in it, in your imagination. And what's great about your imagination is you can dream big, you know, and in that space of dreaming big, you are more poised to get it than when you're in your old closet. If that makes sense.
That totally makes sense, because I think everyone has had that time in their life where they're just like, I just want to take everything and start fresh. How many times have people been like, I just want to take everything I have, everything, and just start fresh?
I am there right now with my business.
Yeah.
I am there right now. And I had no control. Like, I did not even clean the closet out. The closet just decided not to be there. And let me tell you something. No, but I'm being really serious. I just had this conversation today and yesterday. I had no idea, because when it first all happened and this whole evolution, you know, change, like, so many people don't, let me just take a minute. I don't really know if people realize that this year, which is coming up on a year of this, you know, quarantine, has been such a closet cleansing situation where it's like some of us, you walk in the room and you're like, wasn't there a closet in here? And it's just like gone. And it's like, now we get to manifest not only what's in it, but like the closet, like from scratch. And I will tell you that this could not be more like timely, this conversation, and about, you know, Dr. Joe, but because so many of us, I think, are at scratch. We're like at the beginning. And I just really want to take a moment at this age, this place in my life, take a breath and go, you know what? I'm going to take a minute and not just react and literally and rebuild. And I think that's a big part of it. I think that for so many of us, you know, God forbid, like a hurricane takes your house down, or car accident wipes your car out. How many people go out and just get the same exact car? Like, this is like the moment to really sit back and think, while you're in that neck collar, while you're in that like trauma center going, what the hell happened? Try not to let the trauma get to you, and try to sit there and say, what am I going to do with this? How can I heal and heal better than I was?
And also another way to look at that, which I'm doing it from an outside, Donna, speaking directly to you, is this is a really exciting time. This is like, God,
totally.
You know, the decks are cleared. Anything could happen. And you could create anything that you want. It's like, it's almost like having a new life where you wake up and you go, wait a minute. And the exciting part is, you know, everything you know. It's like that dream where people say, oh, I would love to like go back to the age 20, knowing everything I know now and start over. Well, it's kind of like that. It's like you have all the wisdom of what you've done.
Well, it's true. Oh my God, it's Italian time.
Right. But then you have a fresh start, because listen, and for so many people out there, we're all in the same boat. I know for me, my job stopped March 13th was the last day. And I've been working projects, you know, thank God, knock wood, been able to, but so many people have been completely out of work. But the exciting part is everybody has. So you could go back and try something totally different.
Yeah.
And they won't say anything on your resume, because everybody for the last year has been doing the same thing.
It's wild.
I mean, that is so true. Like, if this is a time where you want to really recreate your life, this is the right time.
This is the time for everybody. Always look for the solutions instead of focusing on the problems. Thank you, Kathy. That's a great piece of input. Great piece.
Absolutely true. And the thing is, what I like about this work, and what I like about all work, if you know me for 30 seconds, is give me an idea that's great. I'm not all that interested in ideas. Give me a tool. I'll use it. I'll try it. I'm really like a tool shopper. If I can go in and borrow your tool, I might sell it for you. Sure. Right? Because how many tools do I teach? Because of my youth, when I struggled so much, and I used to just say, if you told me something that would work, and it really was just a matter of just doing it all, right? And so I still kind of just do it all. And growing up, I mean, a willingness to be vulnerable and visible and let people know the truth about what was going on. But what I love about this tool is it actually works, right? So I'm not going to lie. I have been meditating almost an hour a day for the last 30 days. What
do you mean you're not going to lie? You're so funny. We have to stop apologizing for doing the things that we actually are preaching.
Right? Yeah, I know, right?
You're right.
Heck? Thank you.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that. Right.
Good
Now,
for you.
are you sitting for an hour at one time, or doing like 30, or literally for 1 hour?
I've been doing, so I get home at like 4 o'clock and I lay down on my bed and I do it because I don't fall asleep during it. Okay. And I'm able to really go to that generous, present moment. And from that place, I go to the quantum. And then from that place, I'm doing the possibility thing. I've got to tell you, it's been really, and I've been noticing I'm more comfortable in my skin. I just feel, and please understand, I'm a person that meditates. This is not like new to me. This particular meditation is new to me, right? So this is kind of shocking that it is making such a difference. So I think that one of the things that he does is these 4-week intensive workshops, and people go and they'll spend 4 days like meditating. And he said that things have healed in those 4 weeks. People who had cancer have healed from cancer. Now, here's what I always say. Don't take my word for it. Try it. I mean, like, if both of you have coached with me, I've said, don't take my word for it. Give it a shot. I mean, and what could harm you in an hour of meditation a day?
Right.
I mean, it's a massive commitment. It really is. I mean, I don't know if for the rest of my life I'm going to be meditating an hour a day, just because. So I spend a lot of time helping people heal and doing my other program and stuff. But I do like it so much. I feel it's really worth it. This particular meditation, he has a lot of other ones too. But this
what is the name of the meditation again, please, so that everybody knows?
Into possibilities. It's called, let me just make sure that's what it says in the chapter. Hold on. It's called, the one that I am, this particular, because he has a lot, he has like the blessings of the energy center. But if you go, it's not cheap, by the way, this particular meditation. If you want to buy the meditation, it's called Tuning into Possibilities, Tuning into New Potentials. Tuning into New Potentials. He does have it on Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you want to download it, I think it's $25, but you're worth it.
Right. Exactly.
And he has breath work that is amazing. So let me tell you about his breath work. What he describes is, so if anybody's been watching our program for months and months, you'll know that I've already gone over the power centers in the body. I call them power centers. They're energy centers. You can call them chakras, right? But I do think that we have potential for power in different centers in our body. And there's basically 7 main power centers in our body. And these energy centers or chakras or power centers all have a different theme. And I've explained that the lower energy centers are very self-involved. But the way he describes it, which was so eye-opening, and I've heard it before, but it really never clicked. And this is what I say, you want to listen to a lot of different teachers, because you'll hear something and I'm like, oh, 1, 2, and 3 are the survival centers. So these survival power centers we get stuck in, right? And the creation power centers are really 5, 6, and 7, including 4. 4 is where you really should magnetize from, which has really made a difference in my magnetizing, which, anyway, so if you think about it, 1, 2, and 3, what are they? They're like the things of the world. So it's, am I getting enough food? Am I getting enough money? Am I being able to keep a roof over my head? Am I having any fun in life? Am I, in control of my life? Are other people in control of me? Am I addicted to anything? Am I in balance in life? These are all like survival.
Do I have my family? Do I have stability?
Yeah. Am I constantly in drama with my family and friends? Right. So these are all 1, 2, and 3 issues. But where we really create in the world, where we really manifest in the world, is for 5, 6, and 7, right? Mm-hmm. And 4 because that's where we connect to other people. But 5, 6, and 7 are really the creation. So he has this breath work, and you actually do like a physical activity of moving your breath from your first chakra all the way up into your 7th chakra, which is just, and he gives you this visual of like pulling your energy up through your nose, like you're doing it through a straw, and then leaving it, like trying to bring your intention right to the top of your head. And then he makes you hold it for a point where you think you might die.
That's awesome.
Hold it. Yeah, okay.
And you're like, no.
He's like, I'm going to gamma if it kills you.
Yeah, he's like, this is called self-asphyxiation, what we're doing right now. And you will see a purple light right before you pass out.
Right before the red and blue one from the ambulance.
Red and blue makes purple. Maybe that's what's
out.
happening. There we go. See,
Have you watched Heal the movie?
Now, was he in Heal the movie?
Yes.
Because we saw that. Remember,
yes,
we went to that.
I don't want to jump ship right now.
No, I know, but I
already have it ready for me to click in the thing. Okay.
So was that his movie though? I just want to know.
He's part of that movie.
Wow, that was an incredible movie.
2017.
Yeah, Donna and I went to this metaphysical screening of this movie called Heal. That was fascinating. It was all about people that have internally healed through their mind, and it talked about this guy. And I guess it's Joe, the one who got in a bad accident.
People that talks in this movie, because he did. I looked it up while we were chatting, and he is the guru that healed a spinal cord injury. He was told he was never going to walk again, and he healed himself with his mind.
Yes, and he just talked about how he would lie in bed and he would just picture his spine fusing and his vertebrae fusing, and they were like, "You're never going to walk again," and he's completely fine. And so this whole movie is dedicated to how powerful your brain is.
It's dedicated to all healing and different people that have healed themselves from cancer, different things. And listen, we're not, just so that everybody knows this, okay? We're not saying anything about modern medicine. We're not saying anything against it. If you have something going on, we want you to go checked by a doctor. We're not trying to like say that we are,
No. Nobody would ever.
Idea. I'm just saying.
No, but people do need to understand how powerful their mind is. That if you have a negative attitude going into a sickness, it really affects it. And you really need to know that, really need to understand that. And
the cool tests and studies that he gives in this book, like he talks about how they have these people play the piano and learn how to do the, the scales for like 3 weeks or a couple weeks. And then he has people think the scales for a couple weeks, and the brain activity, the changes in the brain are exactly the same for the people who played it and the people who thought it. There's so many cool things. He talks about how a girl was given a heart transplant, and she was young, and she kept having a dream at night. This is the idea of the electromagnetic field around your organs. She kept having a dream at night that she was getting murdered, and she kept dreaming it. And she went to a therapist who thought it might be a true story. And it turned out that, and it's a true story, it's in the book, that it turned out that they brought it to the police, and she described the person who murdered the kid who gave her the heart, and they found him and booked him and arrested him. So there's so many cool
chills.
Yeah. And it's a famous story. He didn't, he cites it. It's not like he just makes this stuff up. But we don't understand how powerful we are. But we're starting to. Don't you think that this is the time we're starting to be like, we're taking this back, man?
Yes.
Right? And I think we are on the wave of people. And that doesn't mean that. My son broke his nose. I took him to the doctor. I wasn't like, let's heal it.
Let
me reshape that nose. I've always hated that bump.
I'm not even going to touch it. I'm just going to heal it from here. No.
Bam!
I do think it's interesting how many more people are open to talking about it, and how many more people, and I use women as my example because the most intimate conversations I have, like in my business, in the salon, it's with women, right? And we're alone. And now that COVID has changed. I've noticed how many more women are open to talking about it because there's less people around. So there's less of an audience, and it's far more intimate conversations, which I totally have been enjoying. And we will talk about things even today, manifesting wise, I was talking to a client. We were talking about isn't it crazy? There's not even anybody coming around for tricky trays anymore. So many different things, right? So where do you, 25 minutes later, I look at the door and there's a little girl and a woman. I'm like, what's happening? I don't know. I don't expect anybody else because I had to go into work today. I go to the door and there's this little girl and she's full of energy. And I'm like, hi, can I help you guys? I went outside. They're like, we were wondering if you could maybe donate to St. Thomas's Tricky Tray. And I was like, what? And I looked inside and I was like, and so I think that what's happening is people are way more open to recognizing it. So many people for so long just did not see it.
I'm going to say two things. First place, you are getting more and more open. So you're seeing the open people. There's always that, right? Because the world is you. You see the world. The second thing is I've noticed. So I started reading A Course in Miracles when I was 19. So that was a lot of years ago. So it was 32 years ago, 31 years ago. And so I remember when I started reading A Course in Miracles and people are like, I've had people throw holy water on me, tell me that I was going to be, go to hell, all these. And now people are like, oh yeah, I know that book. I did that book. I'm like, well, where was the time when everybody was getting on the bandwagon on, you did it already? Where was I?
That's hilarious. Well, I think too, people now are faced with their own mortality in a way that we've never seen. And so I think people are starting to really search for answers other than what we've been told, because you just see everything could be gone in an instant. So instead of shutting everything down all the time, maybe you need to be more open and think about other open, it's instead of having that fixed mindset, allow for possibilities, because that's when the magic happens.
Right. And that's what even made me read A Course in Miracles. I mean, I'm like, well, A Course in Miracles, I want that. Sign me up. And then I started reading it and I'm like, where's the miracle part?
Wait a minute. I thought they were going to give you a formula, right? Yeah.
They do. It's just very lengthy.
Yes. You have to really root for it.
I dug my Course in Miracles out. I could see it. And that's about as close as I've gotten to it since I dug it out from the spot that I've had it in. And I've known you for years and I got it because you talked about it. I'm like, I'm going to get that book. She looks like she's got it together. And then I saw how tiny the print was. And I'm like, I'm not going to read that book. I probably could sell it on eBay.
You're like, this is like the Bible. What is this?
Yeah. She never said it was like that tiny. But yeah. But listen, ladies,
I read it and then every day I'm like, I never saw it before. There's so many lines in it, but the thing is, to read it, you really got to understand what they're talking about. And it's really confusing when you really approach it. It makes no sense. So you need a guide, right? But the truth is that I'm not that guide, because I feel like I teach it all the time in what I talk about. I don't want to teach this book word for word because it's too big, it's too lengthy, and it could be summed up in the tools that I teach, right? So I'll teach the tools that will be, so much of that book is forgiveness, and it explains forgiveness. And if you understand your energy and that everything you've created, including what happened to you, that really does make you understand forgiveness. So you don't really, it's another way of understanding this book. Although, bad things happen to people. So it's really hard to say to, someone died that you loved and that happened to you because you created it. That's not what the book is saying. It's saying that your whole world you drew to you, and these experiences are part of you. And the only way you can get your power back is by recognizing them in the first place, right? Recognizing you drew it to you. So, I get a lot of I don't believe that from the book. So I just teach it through. And, it's so funny because I teach this tool, and I always say the 4 rules of life, right? Rule number 1 is it's all me. And everybody says, oh yeah, I get that tool. And then when they're talking about what's going on in their life, and I'll say, well, you remember rule number 1. Well, yeah, but not in this scenario. And I'm like, oh, rule number 2 is,
scenario.
right. Rule number 2 is, we don't believe that. Right?
Yeah, right.
That's a rule. Like, we just don't believe it. And then rule number 3 is anything you want, you have to give away. All right. And rule number 4 is we don't believe that either.
Exactly.
That's
And I
hilarious.
think the rule 2 and 4 are actually bigger than 1 and 2, because the truth is the way to happiness, the way to peace, the way to the generous present moment, the way to all of these things, we have to overcome our disbelief to get there. So, and that's why we do this show, because it's time to overcome our disbelief in these things. Just miracles are everybody's right. Let's just live for miracles.
I love
like what you
that.
said before,
Amen.
like, let's stop apologizing for being strong and let's just be strong. It's our time, people.
I love it.
Wow.
I love that. That is perfect. That is a perfect way to end that. Woo-hoo! But I don't know if okay, before we get to those cards really quickly, that there's a lot more to that, right? Than what we hit tonight, or is that
I feel like it would be too complicated to go into more.
I think it's a great introduction for people that maybe, are looking to find different gurus, different people to look up and listen to. Joe Dispenza is a wealth of knowledge. I love the fact that you gave us a little sneak peek into him and what he teaches. And I know, like I said, for Tracy and I, we went to go see the movie. I did put the link to the trailer for the movie Healed.
Yeah, that's great.
And it was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I also put the link above for Joe Dispenza. And you can find that in the comments on, YouTube, Facebook, and also on Periscope. We are live 8 to 9 o'clock on Monday evenings. Please go over to our YouTube page if you haven't and subscribe. We have some big things coming up in the future. We just want to say that. It sounds like a teaser. It is.
Because it is.
It's a teaser.
Because we do. We have got so many things that we ourselves are manifesting just to bring you guys more content, better content. So now we could totally pick a card. Are you guys ready for cards?
Oh yeah. Now which deck are we using?
Should we use the healing deck, or what would you like to do?
No, the healing deck. I like what you pulled out. Healing deck sounds.
I mean, we have the archetype deck from last week.
No, healing deck. I like that you have it in your hand.
A lot simpler.
I'm all about the healing deck.
All right.
Are we picking a number?
You can pick a number if you'd like to pick a number. Whatever way you feel motivated to do it.
Okay. So my son's birthday is the 11th. I want to go with number 11.
I love it. I love it.
Right? 11.
All right, so we'll pick Kim's first. Is that okay with you, Mr.?
Perfect. I think that's fabulous.
All right, Mecca Lecca Hi. Tell me when to stop.
Wait. Stop.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are you ready? 11. Why do I look so pink like I have a suntan? I think I put too much blush on.
I always feel like I look dead. Come here.
Enchantment.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Love it.
Love enchantment. You need to get back to your inner child and play a little bit, girlfriend. Okay. Tilaka, what would you like to do this evening?
I'm going to give a number to you. All right. For all those people in New Jersey and Long Island watching, I'm going to go with number 9. Number 9.
All right, you tell me when to stop.
All right. Stop.
Okay. Number 9. I love it.
Number 9.
I said that this morning. Number 9. Number 9.
Number 9. Number 9.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Harmony.
Yes, harmony.
I love it.
Yes.
But why such a large guffaw?
Because of the question that I asked in my head. And then I got that answer.
She's
What?
like, did I get the
Yeah,
kazoo
everybody wants to know.
or the mandolin? I know. Now everybody's like, what is the question?
Like, what is the question? What is the question? So it was a relationship question. I was like, okay, I need to focus on working on the relationship. What do I have? What's the focus? And there it is. And that is so applicable. It makes total sense to me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about relationships next week. I've actually been writing a course on relationships.
I know, and it's really good. I've been working on it.
That idea. I'm going to just go with the old 13 because I love that number.
Lucky 13. Okay, go for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You ready?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Intention.
Oh, talk about that today. Intentions.
Does that make sense for what you asked it?
I didn't even ask it.
Oh, you just free-formed
You
it?
just go in.
I just go with it.
Yeah, just give me some
I throw
information.
caution to the wind, bullseye. And the power of intention is huge.
Yes.
So I believe that. I don't know if anybody out there is watching with like a card pull. You have about 2.5 minutes left. Number 7. As soon as I said it, my aunt's number popped up. It was like the wildest thing because I'm telling you, I literally looked over. I'm like, anybody want a number before we have to go? And I saw, boop, 7. All right, right now.
7. There it is. Come on, Aunt Cecile. Here we go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I was shuffling until that moment. So celebration. Oh my gosh, Aunt Cecilia, I did a lovely card reading for my aunt the other day. And that was the card she got at the end of it. And it's still time to celebrate, Cecilia.
And that she does. She lives a life of celebration. That's really exciting.
We should all be celebrating because you know what, guys?
Hey, we're still here. We are still here.
A
And
whole year.
that should not
March 13th, a whole year.
Yeah, that should not be lost on anyone. With everything that's happened, with everything that's gone on with so many people, if you're still here, there's a reason. You still have work to do, and you got to get to it. You
That's
know
right.
what I mean?
That's right. And today is the 8th. So next week will be the 15th. So that means that next year will be like really the year anniversary of everything closing down. So maybe we should even do something about gratitude.
Gratitude. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I think we should do gratitude.
Suzanne Stein is here. Aunt Cecilia is too fast. Hey, Suzanne Stein, what number would you like? I'm not done. We have a minute and 25 seconds left.
Aunt Cecilia is too fast.
That's not what my uncle says. Hey.
Ciao.
You are Suzanne Stein. You are the reason.
Okay, just take a card for Suzanne Stein.
Oh, all right. I thought Suzanne was going to write something.
No, because we got to close it out, man. We only have a minute left.
All right. All right. Aunt Cecilia's just fast enough. I think Suzanne Stein would pick
4.
Oh, who, me? 3.
There she is.
Nice.
I know my
Nick
friend.
of time.
For her.
And Nick
1,
of time.
2, 3 licks to get to the center of the lollipop. Truth and integrity. She's truth and integrity, that girl.
She is, definitely. If I had to say anything, it would be truth and integrity for Miss Suzanne.
She just gave us some truth right now. She said, I am not late. I'm perfectly on time.
That's right.
I did. That's right. You guys are an amazing audience. We can't thank you enough. We wouldn't be here without you, but we would. It would just be more like a private Zoom meeting. So we want to say thank you so much for showing up Monday night at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And I'm Donna Vee. You are Tracy Locke. And Kim Mazzella, professional life coach, mindset coach, and life docent. I swear she changes the name every time to see if I can actually read. And I can. I did. But wait, there's more before you go. Just to remember that you said we have a YouTube page. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. But guys, we are giving out incredible information. Kim is a fountain of knowledge, and this knowledge is unbelievably helpful. And we do different topics every week, and she touches on so many incredible things. So tune in. You will definitely find tools, tangible tools, practical tools that can help with your life. And it changes every week. It's amazing. And if you want to follow Kim and see her videos daily, you would go to
Supercharge Your Mindset.
Supercharge Your Mindset.
Yes.
Facebook. Be there or be, I don't know, square.
Perfect.
So original. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next week.
Be good. Enjoy.